What's up, Broncos country? How's it going today, guys? So me and Muhammad are back for another video. A lot of things we got to get through today, man. A lot of things. As most of you guys know, OTA started today, and we got a bunch of other stuff to get into. We're going to get into our 53-man roster projections. Me and Muhammad both. We're going to go over our, what we think the 53-man roster is going to be, and a couple other things we got to get through. But Muhammad, how was your week so far, man?
That was pretty good, Eddie. OTA started, as we're getting kind of closer to the season. For training camp. Good. What about you?
Good. Just worked my butt off, and two of my kids, graduated eighth grade this year, and they're going to high school next year, which makes me feel old as dirt now. So,
Mhm.
but all in all, good. But anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe on this video. Also, hit that bell notification so you know when we go live. But Muhammad, let's get into it. So, Muhammad, OTA started this week, and what were some of the things, rumblings you've heard coming out of OTAs this week so far?
Everybody's kind of raving about RJ Harvey. He's like the real deal. From what actually seen, Bonix is very sharp. He did not miss a beat. It's just like this is the week after that playoff game. I mean, it doesn't look like he missed a beat. He's ready. He's commanding the offense. I've seen him actually directing wide receivers and doing all that stuff. But mainly, what I heard is RJ Harvey. Everybody's excited. I mean, I know they're not wearing pads yet, but you want to hear that because this is what we were missing last season. It's the running back.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of things out of OTAs this week. I've heard that AJ Harvey, or I'm sorry, AJ. Why I keep calling him AJ? RJ Harvey was having a great, OTAs. He had a great rookie mini camp. Um, he literally was not dropping balls at all, catching every single pass that came out of the backfield that came his way. I've heard Pat Bryant has been out there really balling. He went up against the Broncos' number one overall pick and Barron, and just schooled him on a really nice, pass. I mean, Barron was in great coverage. It's just Pat Bryant went up and like, no, give me the ball.
Mhm.
And I've also heard that Bo Nix is, you said yourself, and it's true. Like Bo Nix has not missed a beat. It looks like the game just ended from Buffalo last week. Bo Nix has not dropped. He has not missed a step. And also, from what the rumblings I've been hearing out of Broncos camp is that him and Ingram are developing a really, really good chemistry together, which is really good news because we know Sean Payton. He got Ingram for that Joker role. We know Payton loves using tight ends and loves using the middle of the field. Last year, we didn't have that as much because, our best tight end was Adam Troutman, which, no disrespect to him, but he's not really a tight end one. So that's good to hear that Bo Nix is developing that chemistry with Evan Ingram. There's going to be a lot of passes over the middle, which is something a lot of Bronco fans have not seen a lot. Those 2 years Russell Wilson was here, you never seen passes over the middle, or a good tight end over the middle. So that's going to be really exciting to see. And I know the other day whenever I was watching like all the interviews, I think Sean Payton was up there, a couple other players. I know Hufunga was up there, and Hufunga was asked, why did you choose the Broncos over the 49ers? And his direct answer was because of Bo Nix.
Yeah.
That should tell you everything you need to know about this kid. That players were literally like, okay, yeah, Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, 49ers, they've been winning. They're really good. They're a great franchise, great run franchise. But I'd rather come over here to Denver and play with Bo Nix than stay with Brock Purdy. And as we know, Brock Purdy got that massive contract a couple weeks ago. So that says a lot. And based on stories I heard before, Greenlaw, Evan Ingram, all the big free agents that we signed this year, literally, there's been reports and everything out there saying that they only came to Denver. Well, not only, but they came to Denver mostly because of Bo Nix.
Exactly.
That tells you, like, the Broncos are now a desirable destination again. Like when Peyton Manning was here, players from all over the league wanted to come to play to Denver with Peyton Manning. During those like 8-9 years when we didn't have a quarterback, like, yeah, we have to overpay people just to bring them in to play for us because they're like, why would I want to go to Denver? I'm not going to win anything there. But the fact that we had our big three key pieces that we signed in free agency this year all come out this offseason so far and say, yeah, I came here to play with Bo Nix. And I mean, Hufanga is saying it was great. I love hearing it. But the biggest shocker to me, like, I understand Hufanga, saying he loves the 49ers and he wanted to come here and play with Bo Nix. But the biggest shock to me was whenever Evan Ingram was like, yeah, I'd rather play with Bo Nix than Justin Herbert. That to me was just like, told me everything I needed to know. He'd rather come to Denver to play for Sean Payton and with Bo Nix rather than go to Los Angeles and play for Jim Harbaugh and with Justin Herbert. This is a desirable destination. Next year, more free agents are going to want to come here,
Yeah.
especially if
They will
Bo Nix
take,
goes out there and balls again.
yeah, they'll take a discount to come here, Eddie. I mean, it's very exciting. And speaking of RJ Harvey, Eddie, I mean, he looks like a freaking tank. I mean, I know he doesn't really have the height, but he's very stocky, and I can actually see it. And he's kind of low on the ground, and the cuts he was making, I was like, oh my god, what have we done? Can't wait.
He's shorter than I am. I'm only
Yeah,
5'10". He's shorter than I am.
exactly. And but you could tell he's like the muscle, the quads, man, man, oh man. And
Yeah,
Eddie, have you noticed like Sean Payton? He knew like, okay, they don't know what's coming. And you could tell that he's very excited. He's trying to hide it, but ooh, Eddie, we're coming. We are coming.
um, I did see a podcast, or I'm sorry, not a podcast, a YouTube video the other day that literally said Sean Payton was trying so hard to maintain his smile and his laughter because of what he's seen so far, rookie minicamp and OTAs. I'm pretty sure next week is mandatory minicamp. So, like, as far as I know, Sertan wasn't at OTAs this week. I forgot there was another person that wasn't there either, but a lot of people are freaking out about it. It's like, dude, don't worry about it. This is not mandatory. This is voluntary. Like maybe, and from what I think it was Andrew Mason that said that. And basically what they were saying is like, I think that they had things they were doing with their families or, private stuff they had going, but they will be back for mandatory minicamp, which is next week, I believe. So there's no need to worry. Even John Franklin Myers, who's pretty much in a contract year, Zach Allen, Nick Benito, all these guys are in contract years, and even they're there. So there's no need to worry. Everybody's gonna be ready to go for mandatory minicamp and training camp and everything else.
But
So
Eddie, I heard like Greenlaw wasn't there neither. I guess he's still dealing with his injury. Singleton, I guess, missed first day and then he came back for second day, but he's still sort of in recovery or something.
yeah,
So hopefully they're ready.
Singleton's still recovering. I heard that Greenlaw was there briefly, but he wasn't really putting any work in. It was, he's still rehabbing, but we heard Sean say earlier a couple weeks ago that he will be ready. He will be good for the start of training camp, which is in like basically 2 months. Like you still got all of June and all of July to get through before, 2 more months before training camp even starts. So they got mandatory mini camp. I'm sure Greenlaw will be there. He probably won't be participating, but he'll most likely be there because, like, I heard that he was in the building. He was in the building in the meetings. Greenlaw was. He just wasn't on the field. So Greenlaw, everybody's going to be there. I heard the same thing about Sertan. He was at the meetings. He just wasn't at the practice portion of it. So, but with all that said, they're all going to be good to go by training camp. They'll all be there next week for mandatory mini camp. So there's no need to worry about that. But overall, I'm excited from all the stuff I hear about RJ Harvey, Pat Bryant, Jody Barron, everybody coming out of OTAs, man. Bo Nix looking really good. This is going to be our year. I feel it. Like we already did our way too early predictions, but I'm still strongly in the sense that the Broncos are going to go 13-4 and win this division. Now, there's a lot of people out there that have the Broncos winning this division. There's a lot of people out there that have the Chargers winning this division, one of which is Mark Schlereth. I don't know if you've seen his take. He thinks
Yeah.
the Broncos are going to come in second, the Chargers are going to come in first, and I think the Chiefs come in third. So he's got them in the same position. It's just he has the Chargers and Broncos split because I think the Broncos are going to win this division. We're a better roster. better team, better organization,
Your
better
coach.
coach.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm excited about. But with all that said, um, I want to get into um, the 53 man roster, Muhammad. And where would you like to start on roster wise? Would you rather start on defense or on offense first? And what position would you want to start at?
Let's start with offense.
Okay.
See what he
Um, let's see. What position do you want to start with first? I'm assuming quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, who is your quarterbacks, or which quarterbacks do you think? Well, we know who the starter's going to be, but what's the how many quarterbacks do the Broncos carry, and who do you all, or what quarterbacks do you think make the roster?
Um, I guess Bo Nix and Jared Stidham. Those are the two quarterbacks. I guess Sam. What I can't pronounce his last name, Eddie. Ellinger.
Ellinger.
Yeah, could be QB3. Maybe they'll go with somebody else, but that's what I'm thinking. Do you think he goes with three quarterbacks like he did last season? He tends to do that.
Yeah, I believe Sean Payton carries three quarterbacks. I think it's and there's basically only three on the roster right now. Excuse me. But unless they sign somebody else, or they did, like to the like an undrafted free agent or just someone out of free agency. Basically, right now the only three quarterbacks that the Broncos have signed to contracts are, of course, Bo Nix, who's going to be your starter. There's no argument there. Jared Stidham is quarterback number two. They brought him back. I think they signed him to a 2-year deal this past offseason. And he's going to be your backup. And then we can talk about Ellinger. We signed him this offseason. He's like, to me, they're going to carry three quarterbacks, on offense. Well, duh, on offense, but they're going to carry three quarterbacks. And the top two are going to be Bo Nix, of course, and Jared
Jared,
Stidham, because they've both
yeah.
been in the system for a year at least, if not longer. And then Ellinger could possibly be a third, but they could also maybe possibly cut him and bring someone else. But regardless of who somebody is, I believe 100% that they're going to at least carry three. Sean Payton loves carrying three quarterbacks, and in this day and age, you don't know with injuries. Like, God forbid, Bo Nix does not go down, Jared Stidham does not go down. It's always nice to have that emergency quarterback. So, three quarterbacks there, and I believe 53. So we got three quarterbacks right now, and but next up, running back position. How many running backs and which running backs do you think make this roster, Muhammad?
I would. I don't know if he'll carry five. I'll say four, maybe five. Obviously RJ Harvey. Even if he doesn't if he's not running back one right now, I think eventually he will be. I see Harvey. I see Estime, McLaughlin, and obviously, um, Pede. I guess Tyler Pede or Watson, Blake Watson. I'll probably go with Pede, but how many do you think he'll carry? Four or five, Eddie? Five?
Well, I think they're going to carry a fullback.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say three running backs. And those three running, like, I want Bidet to make the roster. Now, Bidet can still make the roster. I'm not saying he can't, but he's
Mm-hmm.
going to either, like, Harvey's most likely going to be RB1.
Yeah.
And then after that, you don't know. Like, you got McLaughlin, you got Estime, you got Bidet, and like you said, Watson. Um, Honestly, I think they carry three, and I think the three are going to be, if I had to guess, of course, RJ Harvey.
Yeah.
And I think Jaleel McLaughlin makes the roster because he's an explosive back. He's great. And um, honestly, it's a toss up for me between Bidet and Estime. I know they drafted Estime last year, but it's like Bidet, when he was playing, he was more explosive. He had better plays, like, and he had better ball security for one. But the thing is his injuries. He had that real bad injury. He played. Who was it against? There was one game he played in. Was it the Bucks? I think, where he got really badly hurt
Yeah, it
and
was
he was out
early.
for like
Yeah.
weeks. So I don't know what his health situation is, but if I had to guess right now, I would say Bidet would probably be running back three, and Estimate gets put on the practice squad. Now that could flip depending on what happens in mandatory minicamp and OTAs. But I think they only carry three running backs this year. Since they're going to have a fullback, and honestly, we'll get into the rest of it here in a minute. But next up, well, I'm not going to bring fullback up. Do you think they're going to carry Michael Burton because they brought him back? So I'm assuming they're going to carry him on the 53.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so, Eddie. But I just wanted to add real quick that I don't think Estime had enough touches or chances last season, so the sample is not that great. So I
No,
think it's only fair for them to let us see what happens. I mean, it's up to him too. I'm not gonna say it's up to him to live to that potential. I would hate for him to be
that's what I'm
rejected.
saying. I think that third running back spot, there's going to be a battle for that on this roster because I don't think Sean Payton's going to carry any more than three because I think he's going to carry because we know Sean Payton likes to have big sets, like he likes to have multiple tight ends in there. Plus, he substitutes a lot. We know that. So I would say three running backs, and I think it's going to come down to Bidet and Estimate fighting for that final, running back spot on the roster. Um, whoever's better in training camp and mandatory camp and preseason, that's who's going to win that last spot, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, but moving on, since we both agree that a fullback is going to be carried, Michael Burton. Next up, we have so that's what is it? That's seven right now. Three quarterbacks, three running backs, a fullback. That's seven pieces. Next up, we got wide receiver. Who do you think makes the cut, and how many receivers do you think they keep?
That's hard. Okay. Well, I know Sutton for sure. That's one. Mims, two. Troy Franklin, three. Devon Valley, four. And then we got the rookie Pat Bryan. I mean, Trent Sherfield is probably going to be used more. I think he's probably just going to be used for special teams. I don't know if I would count him or not. As far as how many Sean Payton's going to carry, it's four or five, Eddie, somewhere around there.
Um, if I had to guess right now,
Hmm.
I think they're going to carry six wide receivers.
Ooh.
Like last year, Sean Payton was hovering right around that five mark. I could be wrong on this, but I think they carry six wide receivers. Of course, Cortland Sutton's going to be number one. Behind him, I believe is going to be 100% Marvin Mims is going to be number one. I mean number two. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. Then after that, the third receiver spot that could be up for grabs. That to me, that's going to be a battle between Devon Vele and Pat Bryant. Like if
Yeah.
Pat Bryant, what is he, 24? So I think he's like 2 or 3 years younger than Devon Vele. And I'm not dissing on Devon Vele. The kid's a stud. Like he was great. I had so much fun watching him last year, and I want him to make this roster. But I think for that third receiver position, it's going to be a fight between those two. And honestly, you can maybe even throw Troy Franklin into that mix,
Hmm.
depending. But we know what kind of receiver Sean Payton likes. He likes them big, physical, go up 50-50 type receivers to catch the ball. And that's Sutton, that's Pat Bryant, and that's Devon Vele. Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims are a little more of the speedy guys, the ones that are going to beat you down the field.
Hmm.
So, like I said, Sutton one, Mims two. I think in that third spot, I think Pat Bryant's going to take it. I think he's going to take it. He's going to be the wide receiver three. And then after that, I think it's going to be Vele at four. Well, honestly, that could be a battle too between him and Troy Franklin. Franklin, if I had to guess, would be five, and then they keep Sherfield on for special teams at receiver six spot. So I think they carry six receivers. I think to me personally, I think Marvin Mims and Cortland Sutton are locks to be one and two. And then after, but I could be wrong. Pat Bryant might even surpass Marvin Mims. He could be that receiver number two,
Sure
on
looks
the
like it.
outside or,
So far, he
huh?
looks. I said he sure looks like it so far. Pat Bryant.
If he keeps making plays like he did, and I heard he did in rookie minicamp, that kid's gonna be like, I wouldn't even dare to say like if he keeps making plays like that and he plays well all year and everything, I could totally see him surpassing Cortland Sutton as the number one receiver on this depth chart. And honestly, Mohammed, I thought about this. Like if by mid-season, if because we know Cortland Sutton's he's wanting a new contract probably after this year. He needs a new one because his contract's up. If Pat Bryant surpasses Cortland Sutton by midseason, I can see the Broncos totally trading Cortland Sutton and getting a pick. I hate to say it, but they got a lot of people that got paid next year. They got Nick Benio's got to get paid. He's got to get paid before Sutton, in my opinion. Zach Allen's got to get paid. You got to keep at least some of that defensive line intact. You're probably going to lose DJ Jones next year and John Franklin Myers. So I think Cortland Sutton, in my opinion, for next offseason, getting contracts, he's the odd man out. Especially if Brian surpasses him. I'm not saying Sean Payton's not going to want big wide receivers, multiple ones, but I think at that point, Sean Payton's just going to say, hey, I got Devon Vele, I got, Pat Bryant. They're both on rookie contracts. They're both big body, 50-50 type guys. Sutton, sorry, man, we can't afford you. We're going to trade you for a second or third.
I agree with you. The only thing is, if we're going to we're going to go to the playoffs, I would honestly love to have Sutton there because of, he's a veteran, trust him more than a rookie. But hey, if Pat Bryant is who it looks like who he's going to be, hey, why not? Because like he said, we have to pay the defense. We got a lot of defensive players that we got to pay. So I guess there's going to be some tough decisions to make.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of tough decisions to make this year. But that's just my thing. Like, I feel like Pat Bryant is going to surpass Cortland Sutton at some point this year. And with Cortland Sutton going to be 30 this year, and the fact he's going to want a new contract after this year, and Payton's already got, Pat Bryant becomes really good. Vele just stays or continues the trajectory he started last year, then boom, you got your two big body wide receivers right there, that you got. Then you still got Marvin Mims, you got Troy Franklin, you got who was the other? Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant. You got four wide receivers right there, and they'll probably bring someone else in, if they need them. But that's just my opinion. I feel like that's what's going to happen. I could be wrong on them trading him midseason. They might just let him walk next year in free agency. But if I was the Broncos, I would trade him. Like, if Cortland Sutton's got any value and Pat Bryant becomes that true alpha dog number one wide receiver, if you can get something out of Cortland Sutton, I would do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to suck because I think he's gone regardless next year. Next offseason, I think Cortland Sutton's gone. Because I do think Pat Bryant's going to take his job, and by end of season, I guarantee Pat Bryant will take his job. And it's like, would you rather – I hate to see Sutton go, of course, but if you could get something out of him, wouldn't you rather do that rather than, just let him walk in free agency? That's just my opinion. So, but I think they carry 6 wide receivers at the start of the season. By the mid-season, they could go down to 5. That way they can add another roster spot. Maybe they could add another running back. Like, maybe Estime starts playing better in practice or whatever. They trade Sutton, open a roster spot, get a pick, and they bring Estime in for that 4th running back position. So, it's possible. Next up, tight end position. How many tight ends do you think they carry, and which ones do you think make the roster?
I guess 4, Eddie. Obviously, tight end 1 is going to be Evan Ingram. Troutman, I guess, is 2. Nate Atkins, I guess he could play. He played tight end or fullback. That's 3. And then I guess Caleb Lohner. Or Lohner.
So you got them carrying 4?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to see. Let me see here. Tight end. Okay, so that's a 2020. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Give me a second. I'm trying to see what all tight ends they have on the roster. Because I know we got Evan Ingram. He's going to be he's going to be starting tight end. Bottom line, we didn't pay him and get him here for him to be a backup. So I think Evan Ingram will be tight end 1. And then behind him, I think it's going to be – now, a lot of people are going to think I'm crazy for this because I think they're probably going to carry 4 too. But I think a lot of people are going to think I'm crazy for this. But I believe they're going to carry 4 tight ends, and one's going to be, of course, Evan Ingram. After that, if he has a really good rookie or mandatory mini camp and training camp in preseason, I can see Loner taking the tight end 2 spot right behind Evan Ingram.
That is correct.
I understand he's a 7th round pick, but look at Devon Vele. Vele, what was he, a 6th or 7th round pick last year? And he was like our 3rd wide receiver on the depth chart last year. Same for Jonathan Cooper. Jonathan Cooper was a 6th or 7th round pick. He's now a starting outside linebacker for us.
Yeah.
It's not crazy to think that Loner could become tight end number 2 and maybe possibly the long-term solution at tight end after 2025, and 2026 if, we move on from Evan Ingram eventually down the road.
He's got the physical tools, Eddie. I agree with you. I just think it's kind of early for that, but it's possible.
Well, it could be, but I think those 2 make it. I think Nate Atkins makes it, and I think Adam Troutman makes it because Sean Payton brought Adam Troutman in from New Orleans. So I think those are going to be the 4 tight ends. I think it's going to be Ingram 1, Loner 2, Troutman 3, Atkins 4. Because Atkins can also, now people can be like, what about Lucas Kroll? Like Lucas Kroll, he's that big physical type tight end like we're talking about with Loner. If Loner turns out to be that guy, I think that puts, Kroll's job, it takes him out of a job. Because Atkins, if Michael Burton gets hurt or, we get rid of him or something, Nate Atkins, we know can play fullback. We've seen him do it last year. So he's versatile in that aspect. So I think Atkins makes the roster. I think it's, like I said, Ingram, Loner, Troutman, Atkins are the ones that make the roster.
So far, we got 17, Eddie. 17 players.
That's, yeah. I'm keeping track of it as I'm going here. So so I don't get screwed up and mixed up here, But next up, we got offensive linemen. We'll start with tackle. What tackles and how many do you think they carry this year, Mohammed?
Okay, with tackles, obviously we got Bowles, we got McGlinchey, Frank Crum, and Alex. Those are 4. I don't know if they actually carry 4. I guess they carry 4 tackles, Eddie. Those are
based on what I'm seeing here. They got I think they got 6 offensive linemen that are signed to contracts. Of course, you got your starting 2. You got Garrett Bowles and Mike McGlinchey, who are going to be the starting tackles on this roster. Then Quinn Bailey's still here. We know he got hurt last year in training camp. He had a season gruesome injury because I was there at training camp whenever that happened. I've seen it. So he was out the entire season. He can still make this roster. But the other offensive tackles that we have are Will Sherman. Let's see. Alex Pelcheski. Hang on, give me a second here. I'm trying to find the rest of them. A guy named Cox, Frank Crum. You also have where's he at? I just saw him. Mike Petrie. If I had to guess, I think it's going to be Mike McGlinchey, Garrett Bowles, and then I think the 2 starting backup tackles are going to probably be, if I had to guess right now, would be Mike Petrie and Alex Pelcheski. So I think they carry 4 tackles. Honestly, they might even carry 5 because we saw last year. Who was it? Was it Frank Crum that Sean Payton kept putting in there and big packages, having him out there like he was like another receiver. Like they had him in the tight end spot to where he could actually go out, run around to catch the ball. But do I think they're going to do that? No, I think they're only going to carry 4 tackles. I think it's going to be Mike McGlinchey, Garrett Bowles, Pelcheski, and Petrie. What are your thoughts, Mohammed?
Yeah, I sort of agree with you, except I think Crumb and Al. Okay, which one did you say, Eddie? I mean, we know about Bowles and McGlinch. I got Crumb and I got Alex.
They brought him back this offseason. They signed him to another deal, I think like a year or two deal, and Palczewski. But I could be wrong. Palczewski could lose it, and it could be Frank Crumb. But I'm picking Palczewski.
All right, it's about the same. Moving
Is
to
that what you
guard.
think?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I thought you were getting ready to say something. That's my fault.
It's okay, no problem.
But next up, we got the guard position. Of course, you got Ben Powers and Quinn Miners, the best offensive linemen in the game, in my opinion. So you got them two. So you got your two starting guards. After that, I'm trying to think. I can't remember who the backup guards were. Let me look at this real quick to find out who the backup guards for this team are. That way I can make my assumption because, okay, so you got Nick Gargiulo, the guy that we drafted last year, I think in the 6th round. You also have, yeah, that's been Powers. You got Throckmorton still too. You got some guy named Truss and Clay Webb, which was a guy I think we got this year, but I think he's more of a center type. But we have him. So basically, what I'm seeing here, it's going to be Ben Powers, Quinn Miners. It's going to be Garjulu at one and Throckmorton at the other. I think we carry 4 guards. What are your thoughts, Mohammed?
I agree, Eddie, and I think also Eddie. I think Forsyth can play guard also, right? He played center, but I
I think
mean,
so. Yeah, man.
so I mean, Forsyth could be somebody they use for both, be a backup for both in case they're trying to make him. They need a spot for their roster.
Going not to go on too fast, but going on center, we know who the starter is. It's going to be Luke Wattenberg, but I'm pretty sure he's due a contract after this year, Luke Wattenberg. And I don't know what the Broncos are going to pay him. Like, they got a lot of money between Miners, Ben Powers, Mike McGlinchey, Garrett Bowles. Like, a lot of money's tied up into those 4 dudes right there.
Yeah.
So, based on what I've been hearing, I was listening to Andrew Mason. Based on what I was hearing, of course, Lou Lomberg is going to be the starter, but the guy that we got this year, the undrafted guy, Clay Webb, they have him listed as a guard, but apparently he played a lot of center. Depending on how he does, they're thinking maybe he could take over for Luke Wattenberg after the season if Luke Wattenberg winds up leaving. Now, I don't think that's the case. I think you could stash him on the practice squad for the season, but I think the backup guard's going to be Alex Forsyth. But I could be wrong. They might. I don't know if they want to keep a roster spot open for him because he was the main reason why the Broncos lost that game last year against Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. But if I had to guess, I think it would still be Forsyth because he's got that chemistry with Bo if anything ever happened to Luke Wattenberg. But regardless, I think starting in 2026, we're going to have a new starter at center. But how many starters or how many centers do you have?
Just the 2, honestly, Eddie. I mean, I honestly had, Wattenberg, obviously, and then I had Forsyth. I kind of forgot about the whole incident with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think a lot of Bronco fans forgot about that. They just kind of blocked it out their memory because they don't want to remember it. It's still stuck in my brain because we should. That's what makes me think that it's possible that we sweep the Chiefs this year because I know we can beat them at home. Regardless if it's their starters or backups, we can beat them at home.
And
we
better.
Almost beat them last year. If Forsyth doesn't fold like a freaking table, the Broncos sweep the Chiefs last year.
Yeah,
so
we're better. We're definitely better. So
yeah. But next up, we got defensive line. We got defensive end and defensive tackle. So, Mohammed, how many do you think we carry, and which players do you think make it for the defensive line?
In total? I got six. Um, I got Zach Allen, obviously, John Frankenmeyer. Um, as far as defensive end, right? Got
Yeah.
Stephen Jones and possibly Ayoma. I can't even pronounce his name.
Wazarike?
Yeah, yeah,
Is
that's
he
pretty good.
still on our is he still on our roster?
I believe so.
Trying to look here and see. Defensive ends. Wish there was a way just to type in defensive ends on here, but I can't. Um, so I agree. I think Zach Allen, John Franklin Myers are going to be our starting defensive ends on this team. Um, I think Savion Jones is going to be the replacement for John Franklin Myers next year after we don't sign him, so he'll be the second or the third defensive end. He's going to get probably a lot of rotational snaps this year. Just see what he's got and if he could do it. Um, Trying to see here. Let's see. You got Matt Henningsen. Um,
Jordan Jackson.
I don't see him on here. Yeah, I don't see him on here. So, the other one that I saw, I think, was maybe nope. Never mind. That never mind. That not him. Um, yeah. So I think Matt Henningsen makes it back. I think those are going to be the four starting defensive linemen. Or defensive ends are going to be Zach Allen, John Franklin Myers. I think Savion Jones makes it, and of course Henningsen. Because I think if they sign Zach Allen this year, he's probably going to sign like a 2-3 year deal. So he'll be to have that lockdown starting defensive end side. John Franklin Myers, I think, is gone. Savion Jones becomes that next, if he develops well this year, I think that's going to be your new starter. And I think Matt Henningsen's going to be backing up Zach Allen, and Savion Jones will be backing up John Franklin Myers. So I got four there, four defensive ends. Now, next up is defensive tackle. Who do you got for defensive tackle?
I got for tackle. I got Jones, DJ Jones, and I got Malcolm Roach.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Give me a second here. I'm trying to set my stuff up. Uh, Let me look real quick. Yeah, DJ Jones is definitely going to be the starter. They didn't bring him back to sit on the bench. So DJ Jones will be the starter. And I believe they only carry two, honestly. Because Savion Jones, they might try him out at defensive tackle too this year. We don't
Okay.
know. But I think they're probably going to keep him more at defensive end. I think he's more of a natural defensive end than he is a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
But if I had to guess, DJ Jones is going to be one defensive tackle, one, of course. Take a look here. They got Jordan Jackson listed as defensive tackle.
Okay.
And of course, you got Jordan Miller, you got Malcolm Roach. And I think that's gonna be the the two defensive tackles right there. I think it's going to be, DJ Jones's defensive tackle one and Malcolm Roach's defensive tackle two. Like Sean Payton brought him over. He knew him from, New Orleans. So that's gonna be my two defensive tackles. And I think they only carry two. But as of right now, Mohammed, what's our roster up to right now?
Oh,
Let's see. I can do it right here.
because I stopped counting. It was 17.
Let's see. You got 3 and 3, 7, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So I think 26, 30. Oh, wow. 30. I got 32 so far.
32. Okay.
Next up, outside linebacker. Now, how many do you think we keep, Mohammed? And, what outside linebackers do you think make this roster?
I'm thinking 5, Eddie. Could be less, but thinking 5. Obviously, Cooper and Benito, they're kind of locked on that one. John Alice, Tillman, and then I got Q Robinson. You know, if he actually makes it, I think he will.
I got four outside linebackers, and I think of course, Nick Benito, Jonathan Cooper. Those are going to be the starters,
Mhm.
and then outside of that, um, I mean,
You see
I think
Tillman.
the other one's going to be. I think the third outside linebacker is going to be Jonah Ellis because he had a really, really good season last year. And then I think it's going to come down to either Q Robinson or Pat Tillman, the guy that we got from the UFL last year,
Yeah.
who had a really, really, really good season. I think it's going to be a battle for that fourth outside linebacker position. So if I had to guess, I think it's going to probably be.
Robinson.
I want to say Robinson, but Tillman was really, really good. I think Robinson might make it since Sean Payton's the one that drafted him, but he's got to win the job. Like that fourth outside linebacker spot, he's got to win it. He's got to be able to take Tillman out because I do think Jonah Ellis is going to be safe at outside linebacker 3. Jonathan Cooper and Nick Benito 1 and 2. But that fourth linebacker position, outside linebacker position, is going to be a battle. And if Robinson's going to take it over from Tillman, he's got to show that he is clearly better than Tillman. So I'll go with Q Robinson. I think it's going to be Nick Benito, Jonathan Cooper, Jonah Ellis, Q Robinson. So I think we take four outside linebackers. Um, let's see, four. So we were at 33, Muhammad. Right now we're at 33. We're at 37 right now, currently.
Eddie, just a side note, we already paid Jonathan Cooper, right, last season?
Yeah.
We paid him. Okay, so we just got to worry about it. Okay.
Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. Next up, inside linebacker. Muhammad, who do you think we keep and how many do you think we keep at inside linebacker?
I'm gonna say 5, Eddie. I don't know if that's gonna be the case. Greenlaw, hopefully he's back. He's healthy. Singleton, hopefully he's healthy. Those are the two main ones. Now we got Drew Sanders, Justin Stronard, and Bailey. Um, could be 4 that they carry. Now who's the odd man out of this? I have to guess.
I think it's going to be Greenlaw is going to be number 1, of course.
Uh-huh.
Singleton's going to be number 2. Then
Okay.
after that, I think they carry 4. But after Singleton, I think it's going to be a battle between Drew Sanders, Bailey, and Stronad. Like one of the, there's only going to be 2 more roster spots available inside linebacker. So one of those guys, whether if it's Sanders, Stronad, or Bailey, are going to get either put on the practice squad or cut. If I had to guess right now in May, I would say I think Drew Sanders is going to be number 3. Honestly, I think they like what he can do on special teams, and he can rotate between inside and outside linebacker because we've seen how good he played outside. If I had to guess the last one, I think Bailey might finally take it over this year. I think Stronad's the odd man out. Like he played really, really well last year in the preseason. I think if he has another great showing this year in training camp and preseason, Bailey, he's going to make this 53-man roster.
There's
So
definitely some flashes in that season.
I got 4 inside linebackers. So right now I'm currently sitting at 41 players on the active roster. Next up, cornerback position. How many do you got, Muhammad, here? And who do you think makes it?
I got 5. I don't think they carry 5. More likely like 4. Definitely Pat Sertan, but he's locked. I would say Jade Byrne. I mean, he's a first round pick. He is going to be a starter. I don't think they're going to
Yeah.
make him separate. McMillan and Riley Moss. Those are the two. If we're keeping four, those are the four I got. So Sertan, Riley Moss, Baron McMillan. Abram Drain, if they carry five, he's in. If not, I guess he goes to the practice squad. What do you think?
I got five.
You got five? Okay.
I got five corners. Pastor 10, of course. Riley Moss is going to be number two. And I think, depending on how training camp goes and preseason, I think Barron might take McMillan's role at slot because that's a lot of rumors I'm hearing. Because at first, we talked about it a few weeks ago. We thought Barron was, I thought Barron personally was drafted to take over for Riley Moss because of his injury. But in recent weeks, I've been listening to podcasts. They're saying, no, he's more of a slot corner. He's most likely going to take McMillan's spot. And I think that happens. I think McMillan's the odd man, or not really the odd man out, but I think he loses his job to Barron. So you got Sertan, Moss, Barron, great freaking, cornerback room so far. No fly zone 3.0, if you ask me. Like, this is going to be an elite, cornerback room. So that's three. I still think they keep McMillan as that backup to Johnny Barron, so because we know he can play slot corner. He's really good.
Yes.
But I think they keep him, and I think they keep Abrams Drain. I think that's going to be their three because Drain, I don't know of any other corner on the roster outside of those three. I know there is some, but I can't remember. But that tells you that they're not very memorable. Abrams Drain, whenever he had limited snaps last year, when he actually got to play, he actually played relatively well. He could be the guy that could back up Moss. He's the guy that could could back up Patrick Surtain. He had that really great, at the goal line pick on Justin Herbert last year. Abrams Drain did. So I think that's the five cornerbacks I keep: Surtain, Moss, Barron, McMillan, and Abrams Drain. So I think they got five. So now I'm up to 46.
So Eddie, you think they cut Mathis or they tried to?
Yeah, Mathis is not good. I mean, don't get me wrong. Levi Wallace was atrocious last year. Was it Levi Wallace? Yeah. Levi Wallace was freaking atrocious last year, but Mathis is not much freaking better. Like, we started him. I think it was like the first year Sean Payton was head coach here. We started him. That kid was getting burned every freaking play. He's not good. Now, if they want to store him on the practice squad, I'm cool with that. Because I don't think no team's going to pick him up. He's not that good enough to be a starter on somebody's team. But I think the Broncos store him on the practice squad. So, yeah, I think Abrams Drain beats out Mathis, and he becomes that last cornerback on the depth chart. So right now I'm sitting at 46 players on the roster. Next up, we got safety. So, Mohammed, how many safeties do you think they keep? And, who do you think makes the roster?
You said we're sitting at 46, Eddie?
I got three quarterbacks, three running backs, a fullback, six wide receivers, four tight ends, four offensive tackles, four guards, two centers, four defensive ends, two defensive tackles, four outside linebackers, four inside linebackers, five corners, and I got four safeties. So that would put me about 50. But who do you got, and how, what safeties do you think they got, and how many do you think they keep?
Yeah, I got like four safeties also. I got obviously Hufanga. I got Brandon Jones. I got Sam Franklin, and I got Devon Key.
You got Devon Key, and who was the other one?
Sam Franklin.
Oh yeah, that's the other guy that we signed from the Panthers this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they signed him, I guess.
So you don't have Skinner making the roster. You got him going to the practice squad?
Yeah.
All right. I also have four safeties. Of course, Hufanga and Brandon Jones are going to be your starting safeties. Mm-hmm. After that, Skinner's my third. Like, he played way, way too well last year. I think he makes it. And if I had to guess, I would say probably the Franklin kid that you mentioned that we signed from the Panthers. I think Key goes on the practice squad. I just feel like, Skinner, he's got to make this roster. He played in the snaps that he played last year, he played really, really well. And if he gets cut, I strongly believe someone's going to snatch him. If we try to sneak him onto the practice squad, someone's going to snatch him up. So I think he makes it. I think they have two strong safeties and two free safeties. So that's my take on it. So that puts me up at 53. I'm sorry, 50 on the active roster so far. And that leaves special teams. Well, we know who the special teams players are. It's going to be my Q fair or whatever his name is, this long snapper. I forgot. We re-signed him this offseason, by the way. The long
Arboni.
snapper. Yeah, Famboni. Yeah, he's going to make the roster, the long snapper. And then, of course, I think Crenshaw's already got the job locked up at punter. Like they cut Hack, like he's gone. So Crenshaw's going to be your punter, and then Will Lutz, and that's your special teams guys right there. So that puts you at 53. So once again, that to me is going to be the Broncos 2025 starting roster. 3 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, a fullback, 6 wide receivers, 4 tight ends, 4 offensive tackles, 4 guards, 2 centers, 4 defensive ends, 2 defensive tackles, 4 outside linebackers, 4 inside linebackers, 5 corners, 4 safeties, 3 special teamers. So that's what I have. I think you said how many receivers did you say? You had 5, right?
What?
Wide receivers?
Wide
4?
receivers. Let me see. Sorry. I initially had 6, but Sherfield, I guess, is special teams. So
Okay. But yeah, if you have 6 wide receivers along with all the other stuff, you'll have 53. If you take a wide receiver away, you would still have an open roster spot, which I don't know. You said you got 4 running backs making the roster, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your extra roster spot. So you only got 5 wide receivers and 4 running backs on this roster this year. But and I'm fine with that. That's a really good thing. I just think Sean Payton's going to carry more wide receivers. They're really deep at wide receiver, and I don't think he's going to want to lose any of those. Like, not saying they're not deep at running back, but I think estimate you could probably sneak onto the practice squad, and no one's going to take him. So, but next up, we have. I want to get your thoughts on this, Muhammad. It's some news that broke over the week.
Mm-hmm.
DT getting inducted into the Broncos Ring of Fame. What were your initial thoughts and your initial reaction to this?
Oh, I mean, guess it's a very classy move by the owners, the Broncos owners. I mean, well deserved. When we speak about DT, I remember when he was drafted. I remember that oh yeah, that's that touchdown that sent us to the playoffs against the Steelers. That's always in my memory. Him with Peyton Manning. A lot of memories there. So I think it's really good. It's I'm kind of jealous because it's gonna happen. They think they're gonna do it when we play the Giants, right?
I think that's what they said. Yeah, they're going to do the ceremony whenever they play the Giants.
I'm not gonna get to see it. Somebody else is gonna get to see it, so I'm jealous about that too. So, but yeah, I mean, Eddie, he well deserved. I'm really happy. I guess I'm sure his family's gonna enjoy that. So yeah, that pretty good. That's a good thing for the Broncos to do.
Yeah, I'm going to that game, but I was already going to go to that game before they announced DT getting put into the Ring of Fame. I was going to go because I want to watch kick the crap out of Russell Wilson.
But 2 birds.
That was the main reason why I'm
going. You get to see that too. I said you get to see it.
I'm saying DT getting to see him inducted into the Ring of Fame. That's just a bonus. The greatest is going to be watching the Broncos kick the ever living crap and Sean Payton out of Russell Wilson. So I'm excited to go to that. I cannot wait for that day. That's going to be a fun game. I might be taking my daughter Callie to that game because my wife, she wants to go to the Chiefs game. Like, that's the one she wants to go to. I'm like, so that's fine. I'm like, you can watch us kick the crap out of the Chiefs. You'll see how happy, like, that'll be the happiest I'll ever be. Being at the game when the Broncos kick the crap out of the Chiefs. Dude, that would be like, that's going to be like being on cloud 9 for me, seriously. Next up, Von Miller retiring as a Bronco. Now, we saw an interview from Von Miller this past week. Then the reporter's asking him, like, would you go back or would you sign and play with the Broncos this year? And basically he said no but it was because he likes what Nick Benito and Jonathan Cooper are doing. Like he doesn't really want to stop the development of like a Jonah Ellis, Nick Benito, or Jonathan Cooper. Um, but as far as him like signing like a day contract, whenever he like Von Miller to me, I think he should just stop now. What is he now? 35, 35, 36. He's at that age. It's like, dude, come on. You had a Hall of Fame career. You won 2 Super Bowls. Just retire and go enjoy your life, bro. So I think when Von Miller finally does decide to retire, he will sign a 1 day contract with the Broncos and retire a Bronco. What are your thoughts on this, Muhammad? Everything that happened this past week with him.
Yeah, I did see part of the interview. And even basically, he was saying that he think the Broncos pass rushers are stacked. They have enough players. He doesn't think they need them. I sort of agree with you. He does kind of believe that he still has something left in the tank. He is a whole failure, no doubt. I'm pretty sure he's going to be put on the Broncos Ring of Fame at some point. Also, just like DT. I am 100% sure that when he's retiring, he's going to retire as a Bronco. But I would love for Von Miller to be involved, after his retirement with the Broncos in some kind of capacity in the office or as a coach or something. I would love for that to happen.
Because I'm pretty sure Von Miller lives in Denver, don't he? I'm not sure.
If he doesn't, he really has a house or something. He's got.
Because I know
He's got.
Justin Simmons, even though he plays for the Falcons last year, and I think he's still a part of their team, he still lives in Denver.
Yeah.
Like, just because a guy gets traded from a team doesn't mean he leaves that city. Like Peyton Manning, but sometimes they do. Like Peyton Manning got drafted by the Colts, lived in Indianapolis, and then after he got traded to Denver, he moved out here and he hasn't left. Like he still lives in Denver. So I think Von Miller, if I remember, I think he does still live out here. And he's a big part of the community out here. The Broncos, like he doesn't hang around the facility all the time because he's still an active player, of course. He doesn't hang out around the facility like Peyton Manning does, but I'm sure once he retires, Von Miller, he's probably gonna be at that facility every dang day, just like Peyton Manning is. So, but last thing to talk about, Muhammad, is expectations. I want you to pick 2 players on this team and what your expectations are for them this year.
First one would be Troy Franklin, Eddie. I mean, Sean Payton drafted him. He was a wide receiver. He was playing with Bo Nix, so there was high expectations. He's already got this chemistry, and they're playing really well. He came in. I guess the NFL is too fast for him or something, so he kind of struggled in the beginning weeks of last season. He's gotten better as we went. I'm expecting a lot from him this season. I hope he can take that next step, which he should. I mean, a lot of players come in, they are not familiar with the quarterback, but he is. So I hope he takes that next step. The second player would definitely be Estime. I was really high on him when we drafted him. You know how excited I was. Was kind of disappointed. I don't think it's all his fault, Eddie. I don't think that was a big emphasis to run the ball last season with Sean Payton. Remember when Sean Payton had his thing, he was saying run the ball and he never did it. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't really blame him, but Estime, I'm sure they're gonna give him a chance. It's gonna be fair for him. He's gonna get a chance now, and I really hope that he kind of takes advantage of it. Because if we have if we have Estime and we have RJ Harvey, both playing the way they should be playing, we should be golden, Eddie. And then you got McLaughlin. My God, man, watch out. Those are my two players.
My 2 players, of course, right here, baby, number 10. I want to see Bo Nix take that next step this season. I'm not saying he played poorly or he played bad last year, of course, by anybody's stretch of their imagination. Bo Nix balled last year. He did. For a rookie, he came in second and rookie of the offensive rookie of the year. Like Bo Nix proved he is a starting level caliber quarterback in the NFL. But I just want to see him take that next step forward. Like there were some games last year that looked like I mean, earlier in the season, yeah, but he progressed past that. Like the game looked too big for him or too fast. He progressed past that, but I just want last year, like Muhammad, we noticed like every single game with Bo Nix last year, from week one all the way up to that wild card game against Buffalo, we seen Bo Nix go like this. He ticked upward. He went up. Like he was progressing every single week. I want that progression to continue. I want him to, you know, I mean, last year, Bo Nix really wasn't the reason why the Broncos won some games. Don't get me wrong, he was a big part of it, but he wasn't the reason. The defense was the reason why this team won. I want Bo Nix to take that step too, where he's 100%. Nobody else can doubt it in the world, even the biggest doubters of Bo Nix, that he can carry a team. He is a not a Hall of Famer, but like a franchise caliber. He is a franchise quarterback. Like we believe that, but a lot of other people out there don't believe that yet. They still need to see another year of him. I want him to take that next step to where he proves to everybody, like, hey, I'm a franchise guy and I can carry this team on my back if I need to. Like, that's what I want to see from Bo Nix this year. Like, I'm not saying he has to do it all year. I just want to see that progression slowly going up and up and up until the end of the season. To where by the end of the season, like, yeah, Bo Nix can carry the Broncos if he needs to. He's a franchise guy. You guys can't doubt this anymore. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see from Bo Nix. And the second player I got is Nick Bonito. Now, once again, Nick Bonito had a great season last year. I think he had 13 and a half sacks. He was the leading sacker on this team, but I want to see him, progress farther more. I want to see 16, 17 sacks out of Nick Bonito this year. Because, like, if Nick Bonito is getting like 17 sacks this season, along with Jonathan Cooper getting over 10, John Franklin Myers, Zach Allen getting about 8, 9, 10 sacks, dude, like the Broncos already broke the franchise record for sacks last year. I think what they get to 63. Like I want Nick Bonito to at least get like 3 or 4 more sacks on the season. I want him to keep progressing because not only is he a great pass rusher, a good reading like runner pass, but he's great in coverage too. Like we seen him against Jameis Winston. Now, of course, it was Jameis Winston, but still, he read that. He defended 3 different players on that one play, picked it off for a pick 6. So I just want to see both Bo Nix and Nick Bonito take that next step, become that elite pass rusher, that elite quarterback that all teams talk about. That's what I want to see from these two this year. Those are my like Surtain. He's already a Hall of Famer in my opinion. He's a baller. He's a certified freak. Like that is Surtain. Like he doesn't need to prove anything else in my opinion. But Nick Bonito and Bo Nix, if they can take that next step and prove that they are truly that elite, this team is going to be so much more dangerous than people think. And if they take that next step, the Broncos, they're going to be a problem for people, especially like Bo Nix has still got 4 more years left on his rookie deal. If Nick Bonito takes that next step and becomes that elite pass rusher like a Von Miller or a DeMarcus Ware or a Joey Bosa, whoever you want to say, and he gets that contract, you're going to have 2 big cornerstone pieces, Bo Nix and Nick Bonito, on this roster for probably for the foreseeable future. That's what I want to see for them too. So, but that's it for us tonight, guys. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think the 53-man roster is going to be. What are your expectations for 2 players that you want to see more out of this year and want to see them progress? Let us know the 2 players you want to see. Also, like, comment, subscribe on this video. Also, hit that bell notification so you know when we go live. Mohammed, you got anything else for us tonight, bud?
Eddie, I'm telling you, Sean Payton, he's just sitting back. He's a genius, man. He's sitting back there and just laughing at everybody in the NFL, thinking that, oh, you guys have no idea what we're about to do. That's the look I see in his face. So
that look, I know what look you're talking about. I've seen it too. That is the look of you guys fucked up, and now I'm about to unleash Armageddon and hell on the NFL.
That's what's going to happen.
You guys screwed up last year by saying Bo Nix was a reach, letting him fall to me and letting me get my hands on him. Like, could you just picture this? I want you to picture this for a minute, Mohammed. Do you think Sean Payton would be in Denver right now if in 2017 he drafted Mahomes to the Saints?
Nope.
No. He'd be in New Orleans still with Patrick Mahomes, and they'd be tearing that division up. They'd be the leaders in the NFC right now. I'm telling you, people are going to regret the day they let Sean Payton draft Bo Nix and gave that kid a running game and gave him a true tight end 1. gave them this offensive line, gave them the defense that they're going to give them this year. The NFL is going to be taken by storm this year by the Broncos, Bo Nix, and Sean Payton. Just you watch and wait. So, but that's it for us tonight, guys. We'll be back next week to talk more football, maybe mandatory minicamp. I'm sure there'll be some more news at break, but we'll talk about more stuff next week. We only got a couple more months until training camp starts and preseason starts. So hold on with us there, guys. It'll be here before you know it. Mohammed, I'll see you next week, man.
All right.
Talk to you later, guys.